Today I'm going to be showing you how to make Instant Pot Meatloaf Bites. Hi, I'm Karen Peterson and I share Instant Pot stuff with you every week here on YouTube. You can find all my recipes and things that I do on my website, 365daysofcrockpot.com. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make these cute little delicious meatloaf bites in your Instant Pot. And you'll need one of these little silicone egg bite molds. This is another great way to use your egg bite molds if you have one. I ordered mine on Amazon and I will link to it in the notes below in case you're interested in getting one. And you can, just FYI, you can double this recipe and use 2 of these if you have 2 at your house. I have 2 at my house, but I'm only going to make 1 today. The first thing that you need to do is add a pound of ground beef or ground turkey to a medium-sized bowl. I'm using ground turkey today, and make sure that it's plenty lean, because if you use a higher fat, like ground beef for example, it's just going to be swimming in grease, kind of unappetizing without that grease floating on the top. So we're going to add in the pound of ground turkey, and then instead of breadcrumbs, I'm going to be using 15 saltine crackers that I've just crunched up with my fingers here. And we're going to add that in. If you don't have saltine crackers, you can use panko breadcrumbs or something like that. Maybe even Ritz crackers. That would probably work just as fine. And then 1 egg. And then we'll do our spices. Today I'm going to add in a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of onion powder. We'll do a tablespoon of dried parsley. We'll do 3/4 teaspoon of kosher salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. That should do it for the seasonings. And then we're going to add in a 1.5 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce and a 1.5 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. I'm going to just eyeball that one. And then 3 tablespoons of milk. You can see I'm wearing my gloves. You don't have to wear gloves. You can just have clean hands, but I just like it when I'm mixing meat stuff. Get that all combined very well. All those seasonings incorporated into the meat. This is a really good meatloaf recipe. If you don't want to make it into these meatball bites, you can make it into a meatloaf and bake it in your oven. You could probably bake it in your Instant Pot too if you have some sort of pan to put it in, or even maybe some foil. Next up, I'm just going to spray this with a little bit of baking spray. Just need a little bit in each cup. And then you're going to need a 1/3 cup, about a 1/3 cup. It might be a little bit less, a little bit more, into each mold here. Is that they're not going to expand like a baked good. You know, you would never fill your muffin tin straight to the top, but with meat it's fine because it's not like a baked good. So these are going to be, you know, coming out of the top here, but that's okay. What we're going to do next is pour in 1.5 cups into the bottom of your Instant Pot of water. And then, if you'd like, what you can do, it's kind of fun, is you can make baked potatoes at the same time. So I'm using my sling that I have, and I love this thing. I use it all the time for so many different types of recipes. And I bought it on Amazon, and I will link to it below. But if you want to have baked potatoes at the same time, you'll just put the baked potatoes right on this sling and kind of just fit as many in as you can, or as you want. Then we're going to cover this with just a little bit of foil. And place it right on top of those potatoes. And then we're going to take this whole thing and lower it into the pot. Cover the pot. Close it up, make sure valve's set to sealing and not to venting. And then I'm going to set the manual button to 35 minutes. If you don't have a manual button, you can use the pressure cook button. And it should be on high pressure. Once the time is up, you can do a quick release by moving the valve from sealing to venting. Remove any remaining pressure. And once the pin drops, you can open the lid. And you can pull out your meatloaf. So this is cool because you have your baked potatoes there on the bottom, bites on top. And then you can remove the foil. Just be careful, it's going to be a little hot. They don't look too delicious right now, but what we're going to do is we're going to add a glaze to the top, and it's going to make them look a lot better. You start with some ketchup, and then 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar. You just stir that together and make a little glaze. And then I just spoon it right over the top. And you don't have to do this part, but it just makes them, it just kind of, I don't know, finishes them off. And I like to put them in the oven just for like a couple minutes on the broil setting. We'll do it for about 3 minutes. Once they're done broiling in the oven, you can just use a spoon to kind of pop them out and serve them up. And then you can eat your baked potatoes with sour cream, butter, salt and pepper, and have a delicious meal all in one pot. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you next week, where I'll share something Instant Pot with you. Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce.